Ladies and gentlemen, the co-main event awaits us next. In a matchup with no weight class, the men's absolute title is on the line for the first time in Sub Kings history. From the blue corner, the light heavyweight champion who represents Quan Vessels and Cornerstone Jiu-Jitsu. Please welcome Aidan Griffith. His opponent represents Crayon BJJ from the blue corner. Please welcome the welterweight champion, Chris Steenkamp.
Well, folks, the stakes don't get higher than this as two reigning champions collide for this prestigious absolute title. Chris Steenkamp, the welterweight king, faces Aidan Griffith, the light heavyweight champion, in a clash that transcends weight classes. Both competitors are vying to cement their legacies by becoming Submission Kings' first ever double champions. With contrasting styles and a class and championship pedigree, this bout promises to be an instant classic.
Yeah. This, you guys were chatting earlier on about which is your highlight for the night.
Bobby Caraginese.
So sorry, you guys were saying which is the highlight for the night, and for me it's these next two fights. I mean, I've been amped to see both Chris and Aidan have a go at each other. You know, what an interesting matchup, and you know, check at that size discrepancy. Aidan is one big human. I don't know what they feed these Griffiths, but
yeah, Aidan came in at 110 kgs today.
Strong collar ties from Aidan there.
Chris at lower 80 kg, so
nice duck under there by Chris. Oh, beautiful hip throw from Aidan. You see a bit of the size discrepancy now as Aidan towers over Chris.
Both fighters exceptionally aggressive early on in this match.
I think, you know, they both highlighted that they were going to push the pace. They're coming here for Fight of the Night awards, and I think Chris now, he's just going to try into that outside heel hook straight away. He's going to
isolate that
leg. He's going to feed that right leg of, oh, he's looking to wrestle up back on top. Straight onto the head. Aidan having none of it. Oh, big throw. I don't, you know, Chris and ref saying that was a spike.
It'll be interesting. Let's see the replay.
Big throw there from Aidan. Luckily, Chris didn't land on his head or anything like that, but
let's see. How would you call this, Mark? Would you
flip? That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I think, was Aidan penalized there? I don't know. I'm not too sure how the refs judged that, or you know, viewed that as whether they saw that as a takedown or a spike. Aidan very strong with those collar ties.
Yeah. You know, the one criticism that Aidan's had in previous matchups is that he didn't impose himself. He came in a little bit kind of loose, but not tonight. But Chris, being the smaller man, you wouldn't say so watching the action. He's really trying to give it back.
Chris is fired up, and he's coming at Aidan. Well, don't push him off the mats. And both these guys, like as we've said before, you know, gamers looking to push the pace, fight of the night. Chris looking even, you know, standing up with Aidan despite the size discrepancy.
Yeah, Chris really with the collar ties on there, you know. Aidan trying to insert his in and weigh heavy on that head.
You see how Aidan's doing that like pulsation? Yeah. I think it's just maybe trying to distract Chris a bit. Chris looking for a throw by there. Fired up, both these guys.
Very, very heavy on the neck.
Oh, looking for a double, what would you call that? Like, I'm on blank, but anyway.
Chris looking up at the clock.
Last double. There we go, it came to me.
Commentators get one mulligan per
yeah, that's mine.
Per promotion.
Get out of jail free card. It'll be interesting to see here now, you know, does Aidan want to take this to the ground and look to impose his weight and size? Does Chris want to pull guard and look to attack the legs?
Yeah, both competitors seeming that they're trying to keep this fight on the feet for as long as possible. Probably
high pace, my goodness. Despite it being standing, very high paced.
Like, who's benefiting from staying on the feet longer? Who would you say, Mark?
I'd say Aidan, because he can just wear Chris down with those heavy collar ties and try and pose some size. But you know, I'm sure Chris has a strategy. I'm sure they have a game plan. You know, this may be part and parcel. So, but I would think the longer it stands, the more like as soon as Aidan weighs on those heavy collar ties. Okay, Aidan getting that. Did he get that outside shot there?
Chris doing really well with his front headlock.
Yeah.
In a dominant position.
You can hear the crowd going crazy.
Well, both the crowd and
his corner. Yeah, very.
Aidan trying for a leg entry there, but using it as a wrestle up.
Sure.
Both corners absolutely fired up for this one.
Oh, big takedown from Aidan. Last double knee tap there, ends up in his top position. You would probably think he now wants to slow it down a bit and try and impose that size difference. You know, what's it, 30 kilos? Chris doing very well to get that knee shield back in.
The top knee back in. Aidan trying to weigh down his weight on there. Some big man jiu-jitsu.
Probably see maybe like that camping or that, you know, pit stop position where Aidan can drop his hip onto Chris's knee there, let Chris hold his weight. But Chris doing well.
Just catch Justin Ferrier's face on the side of that, really enjoying the action on the live stream. What an incredible matchup.
I'm loving this match, wow.
But you know, like, absolute respect to Chris coming in here that much lighter, but up until this point, really not.
We've said it before, and it's been said a few times, you know, pound for pound, one of the top grapplers in SA, if not one of the best. So, you know, kudos to him for putting his hand up to take a fight like this.
Deciding to stay down on the ground there.
Not getting up. Aidan with that heavy cross face, but again, Chris doing well to deal with what Aidan's throwing at him.
Yeah.
Some of that turning sequence in that.
But does not have control of that arm in the turning sequence, which just allows Chris to reach out to that thigh, potentially look to pull it in. And you know,
Chris doing so well to regard, proving himself a difficult customer, you know.
And you know, the counter to this kind of big man, small man jiu-jitsu is the fact that it's sometimes exceptionally hard to get control of the smaller guy. You know?
I think we're seeing that.
Chris really like rolling himself up into a ball, ensuring that Aidan can't get the appropriate grips.
Yeah, and can't really impose his game as well, you know. There's not much space for him, call it that. But Aidan needs to get past that knee shield, which he seems to have done now. Chris, again, just doing so well to get those legs back up and re-establish some form of a guard.
Just a little bit of an elevation, and that's what it took to get that double knee shield back in place. Aidan stepping around that knee now, looking to settle himself in this side control position, but using
Chris onto a leg. Oh no, never mind. Bit of that butterfly position. Chris having a look at the time.
Well, 3 minutes and 30 seconds, Mr. Steenkamp, in order to work there. Same to you, Aidan Griffiths.
Yeah, it would be great to see a finish from either of these men, you know. You don't want to fight like this settled on overtime, but if it gets there, it gets there.
Chris trying to isolate that far leg, but Aidan wise to it.
Aidan's corner telling him, you know, about controlling those hips, trying to put his butt back to the floor, well, Chris's butt.
Aidan getting a tight grip around that neck in a kind of front headlock position or kind of side cradle. But Chris once again regaining his half guard.
Yeah.
Using that choking frame.
Aidan very fired up. Some strong
framing from both competitors.
Gas masking, what if you
gas
want to call
marking,
it.
choking frames.
Yeah. See, now Aidan's doing what I was talking about there, where he's riding his weight on Chris's leg. which will tire out his hip flexors a bit. Oh, Chris on that shoulder crunch, looking for a Choi bar. Too slippery.
Too slippery.
Into bottom side control now. Aidan with a strong side crossface. Again, Chris doing so well to get to his side. Not let Aidan control him as well as he would like to.
But great look in on that Choi bar over there.
Beautiful entry, my goodness. I think had that been a bit earlier in the match, he would have had a proper bite there. But Aidan, I saw, there's a lot of sweat flying around, so I think he knew that he could just... Aidan looking for a bit of a meat hook now, I think. Some gas masks.
Game of inches here. But
Gee whiz, what a match.
Really, really trying to impose themselves on one another. Aidan looking to slide himself over into a north-south position, perhaps looking to isolate an arm. Really not a position that Chris would want to find himself with 1 minute left on the clock to work.
It's possible that the Crunch guys have strategized for this and now have a trick up their sleeve for overtime.
That is very possible.
So, all of them very cognizant and conscious of the time. The corner looking at the time. So I think at this point it's about getting to the overtime rounds. Aidan also having a look up, I think, trying to gather himself. Realize there's no point, absolutely wasting all his energy at this point.
Both corners seemingly telling their fighters to slow down a little bit. As you said, conserve a bit of that energy with the match in its last 30 seconds, likely to hit that overtime. Chris doing well to pin his shoulders back down to the mat so that Aidan can't get control of that top arm.
No, Aidan also, sorry, we didn't talk about it, but another one of those young guns that have come through the ranks. He's 21.
21 years old.
Yeah, so a bit of an age discrepancy.
21 to 33.
Yeah.
As well as the weight discrepancy.
Beautiful from both gents as regulation time ends.
Well, fully appreciated by the crowd out here. As we look at the highlights here,
some big throws.
Great hip throw to get Chris down onto the ground. Very aggressive jiu-jitsu by both competitors.
Some big throws. He has that spike or takedown, whatever you want to call that. But yeah, Aidan ended up on top, played his game, but Chris did so well, not turtling, but getting those knees to chest, knee to elbow, getting to his side. He was never flattened at any point, or when he was. He did well to then get back to his side, but now we see Aidan on his back. It will be interesting to see what the Creon strategy was here for Chris. Aidan's
going with two, double underhooks, looking to first and foremost ensure that the small man does not wriggle out and rotate his hips with a.
Interesting, because maybe Chris was preparing for a bit of a seatbelt position.
Brilliant gaming if that was the case by the Quan Vessel's crew. Aidan getting that bottom side triangle locked in.
Does he force a submission? Does he ride it out?
Well, as it stands right now with double underhooks, it's all about ride time. Perhaps placing confidence in the fact that he'll be able to escape in much quicker time. So going with the strategy.
Maybe as well, you are a bigger guy. It's harder for the smaller guy to get his hands around you.
Potentially.
Yeah. Chris looking to wriggle out of that grip, but Aidan keeping those double unders tight. I'm sure both guys are pretty slippery at this point in time.
Pretty slippery.
Aidan looking for a mandible choke, but Chris wise to it and just defending that, pulling that arm down straight away. Chris looking to shift those hips off.
So for a short 5 seconds of that potential mandible choke, back to the double underhooks.
This has been such an intense match.
Well, folks, as we start to enter the last 30 seconds of this match, doesn't look like Chris has found a...
So Aidan's changed his grip now. He's gone back to double underhooks.
Seemingly not a puzzle that Chris is able to solve right now. So that will be down to... And he does find his way out.
12 seconds left on the clock. It's a long time to hold big Aidan, but I'm sure Chris believes in himself. Oh, he wants armbar. He's opted for armbar. I think that's a wise decision. That's a very clever strategy.
It's an exceptionally big arm to keep control of there. So, as you said, potentially not a bad strategy here.
They definitely strategized for this, you know. I would think that, you know, this was, you know, they realized Chris holding on to Aidan was going to be quite a tough ask, but, you know, here he's probably got a sequence of things he's going to work through and probably try to get them on as quick as possible.
And whilst my memory fails me in terms of Chris's last outing where he chose the armbar, whether he had won that over time or not.
Aidan needs to try get up. He needs to... Chris looking at his corner, he seems confident he's got it in. Aidan needs to try get his arms, his legs under the knees of Chris's. Okay, he's managed to connect his grips. Okay, can he strike Chris off? Wow, what a finish. What a finish.
Putting everything on the line. Oh
what
my
a
goodness.
finish. What a finish.
Exceptional
Holy
showing by
crap.
both sets of individuals.
Wow.
That arm looked like it was in deep, deep trouble.
I'm pretty sure he even took maybe some damage on that arm, but wow.
But incredible showing by
Wow.
both gentlemen.
Wow.
Absolutely had everybody on the edge of their seats. And you can see how much it meant to both sets of individuals, and probably both gyms. You know, these are the two, you know, most prominent competitive gyms in South African Jiu-Jitsu, and a great showing by both gentlemen.
Wow, what a fight, ladies and gentlemen. That was flipping awesome to see.
And there we go. Aidan Griffith with his hand raised, getting given his light heavyweight title by his girlfriend, and now Big Al, Alistair Bishop, going in to make him the first double champ in WTA history. Well done, Aidan Griffith.
Wow.
To CS Duplessis with CS interviewing our first double champ in WTA history. CS, take us away.
Ladies and gentlemen, history made here at Winner Takes All 10 tonight. Aidan, before we get into how you're feeling, Chris put up a valiant fight. I mean, that was an incredible effort.
I think valiant is an understatement. Guy's a fucking savage. So I wouldn't have wanted this absolute fight with anyone else, actually. That was quite intense. I enjoyed that a lot.
How are you feeling after that? I mean, you look like Chris really, you know, put on the grind. He was tenacious, but this is a statement of how far you've come and the statement you're trying to make in this sport.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, coming into this, we knew Chris was IBJJF European brown belt champion, so we knew the first 4 minutes was going to be tough. He was going to come out physical, and he did. So, yeah, it was perfect. I mean, he was tough. I'm tired now, so time to go home and rest.
Double gold, that's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. Definitely does.
What's next for you now? You said you're going to take some time out, but what does 2025 look like, and what is that trajectory? I mean, 2024 has been a pretty good year for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, starting 2024 with no titles, finishing with 2. Next year, we're looking to go international, try win a few international comps, and then anyone else who wants it, anyone else who wants to talk shit, now's your time. Come for the gold, baby.
Aidan, congratulations, well done. Have a wonderful festive season. Your champion, double champion, ladies and gentlemen, Aidan Griffith.
Sure, that was intense. Bro, I was stressing at the end there.